What's up, YouTube Nation? This is Vince DelMonte and welcome back to Motivation Monday. As you can see, we are not in my basement today. We are in the backyard of a rental property my wife and I have been staying at for the month of February here. We're in St. Pete Beach, a gorgeous, gorgeous area. We've actually got a lot of friends down here for the winter time who've escaped the winter cold, and I thought this would be an appropriate place to shoot our Motivation Monday videos for the next few weeks. So enjoy the backyard and enjoy the view. I hope it inspires you to achieve some big things in your own life. So what we're doing here is taking questions right off my Facebook fan page in application to, or in regards to, motivation. And we've got a great question here from Patrick Feller. Patrick wants to know for Motivation Mindset Mondays, how do you handle it when you think you're doing everything right, but your gains are going in reverse? This is a great question. So I think, Patrick, first thing you need to really do is be honest with yourself and admit that things are not going right, because if they were going right, your gains would not be going in reverse. So, you have to just look at the situation for what it is and be real and be honest. And this reminds me of a story, actually two stories, which both happened in Europe. This first story was when me and my best friend, we went backpacking when we were both 25 years old. We went to 5 different countries within a span of 5 weeks, and we started off in Amsterdam. And we'd never been to Europe before, and we had our knapsacks on, and that's where our plane dropped us off as our first spot, first 3 days in Amsterdam. And the Italian in me, the stubborn Italian me, refused to use a map. And what do you think happened? I got massively lost, and all the street names looked the same. They were almost spelled the same, and it was all because I refused to use a map, and I wasn't able to retrace my steps and get back to where my original location was. So, my point here is that you need to create a map for yourself. And what does a map look like when it comes to fitness and training? It's using a training log, creating a training journal, whatever you want to call it, and recording what you're doing, what your workouts look like, how many reps and sets, and what your sleep's like, and recording your diet and your meals. That way, by having a training diary, if you start to go off track, if your gains start going in reverse, you can look back and see maybe where you took a wrong turn, and then you can self-correct yourself and get back on track. But unfortunately, a lot of guys out there, you may be one of them, Patrick, you're not keeping a training journal, so you can't find your way back to point, where you maybe went off course to get back on track. Does that make sense? So my sincere advice to you is to start using a training journal. Start tracking something. Track your workouts, how you feel, what you did, your body fat percentage, your measurements, your strength. You need to track something. What gets measured gets managed. And we want to apply the same concept to your diet. Track your meals, what you're eating, when you went off course, what your weight is, when you're making progress, when you're not. That way you can look back and you can see, oh, back here I started, slipping with my diet, and that's when my gains started going off track. So now I can recalibrate and get back on track, okay? So if you're not using a training journal, I really can't help you. You can't help yourself, and you're gonna get massively lost. And unfortunately, most people won't start using the training journal until they're in a lot of pain and they really don't like where they're at. Because, I just told you that story about me in Amsterdam. Crazy thing is, a few years later, after I got married, my wife and I, this is the second story I mentioned, we went off to Europe for 4 weeks, and again, I made the same mistake that I made years ago when I got lost in Europe with my best buddy. And I told my wife, don't worry, we're on our honeymoon, we'll find our way around, and we got massively lost in this little city in Italy, and it created a whole bunch of tension and a lot of a big argument, and we're on our honeymoon. It was all because I refused to use the map. And it wasn't until that experience where I started to realize, holy cow, I need to change my ways or else I'm going to keep getting lost when I go on trips, and it's going to create unnecessary tension and you know, arguments and that. So, you know, a lot of guys here aren't going to take this advice and application to their training and start using a training journal until they really get frustrated with not seeing results. So if that's you, maybe this is the time where you start using the training journal so you can track your progress and you have something to look back on in case you go off track, and that way you can get back on track and make sure you can keep moving towards your ultimate goals. I hope that was helpful, Patrick, and to everybody else out there who's looking to optimize the results inside and outside of the gym. Take care, guys. Be sure to like the vid and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I really appreciate you guys tuning in every time we upload a new video. See you soon.